the hardest thing for the black supremacists, for a lot of people that come down here to nation build, is to focus on their own devotion to black supremacy. That's the hardest part, but that is the most consistent, unchanging part of the journey. That's where the true longevity comes in. It's easy to have a vision for other people and want to see the world change and create some radical change and to be disturbed by what's going on in the world, to be moved by the chaos and the pain and suffering that you see in the world and really want to do something and see something happen. But it's another thing to have true devotion to black supremacy. Like they run alongside each other, but they're not necessarily the same. Because your devotion is your consistent contribution. It is your consistent meditation. It is your own discipline, your own steadfastness to being the embodiment of the contribution and being the manifestation of the transitional mindset. So your devotion, the devotion of the individual, is going to be the most difficult task on a daily basis. It's not going to be, your future objectives or your blueprint or the ideas you got. Ideas come and go. Blueprints come and go. Even visions come and go. But the way of the black supremacists is eternal. So what is your mode of consciousness every day? What is your personal, consistent, unmoving, unyielding, unbreakable, indestructible, invincible meditation, posture? What is your yoga, your bhakti yoga for every day as a black supremacist? And how important is that? How do you become non-distracted by the illusions and transitions of the matrix world to play your solid, consistent role no matter what, to become the backbone and the backbone of black supremacy in the world? That's the biggest issue. We got a lot of activists, a lot of people that come and go, a lot of people that are ego-centered in what they can do and what they want to see happen and who they are. Ego-centered in a certain sense. There's plenty of them. They are impatient, frustrated, want to see something happen. Those are the bigger numbers. But it's the smaller numbers, those who can be steadfast and simple and consistent and diligent daily to do some service, to make some contribution daily, to do the simplest of things, even if it's counting the grains in the bowl of rice. The simplest of consistent actions. Even a drip of water can break a rock over time. Who can be devoted enough to be that drip against that rock? Everybody want to be dynamite. Everybody want to be TNT, be explosives. Nobody wants to be that drip that just keeps dripping. The black supremacist is that drip. We see what's going on in the world. We're upset. We're moved. We're stirred up. We're sensitive about what we see going on in the world. And we want change, if not as bad, even better than everyone else. But we're not even distracted by even all of that. In the midst of it all, we're that same drip, that consistent laser beam focus, that consistent action, yoga, methodology. Our way of life is the destruction of white supremacy. We're not waiting on this grand act, this grand moment in history, this grand moment in time. That's all propaganda. Don't believe the hype. We're not waiting for all that. The fact that we are progressing consistently and steadfast in the way of black supremacy is the apocalypse. It is the end. It is the finality of white supremacy, because white supremacy will not outlive black supremacy. The white man will not outlive the black man. And its only hope for life after he reaches his own mortality is that he continue to persist in the consciousness of black people, and that we institute the reality of white supremacy in this world, which we did in America. Big Ben, we help him build this thing. That's his only hope for a future, is that we keep him alive, are the embodiment of his end. In our actions daily, in our meditation, our focus, in our rejection to the matrix, our rebellion, and our radical rebellion. We are the end. We represent the end in motion, the end of white supremacy in motion. And that's what we're supposed to do. Some of us caught up in wanting change so bad and wanting to be accepted by this group, and these groups come and go. 1 minute is this group, the next minute is that group. Or we wanted our own monetary gain, or we mixed our own personal agenda and our own personal materialistic conquest and mixed that in with social change for all black people, and we're not able to be consistent. The black supremacists are like the monks in Tibet. Every day, we're just consistent. 1 minute we'll be loved, the next minute we'll be hated, but we'll still be counting the grains of rice in that bowl. And that's where we need people to be at, to be simple. Not so grandiose in their intellectual aspirations, and they're so ambitious in reacting to an illusion, but consistent in being the reality and creating the reality and fortifying the reality daily on the most simplest of levels. The greatest corporations live off the labor of a simple few. A simple task, simple jobs, simple positions, the consistency of a few. The most largest entities subsist on. We give our simplicity and our consistency and our steadfast to the white supremacy. And all we got when we come over to black is idealism. Our ideas, our plans, our vision. I got some ideas, listen to these ideas. I got some I want to share. I got some ideas for you, blah, blah, blah. No consistent labor or devotion. No reverence. No humility. Just better ideas, a better plan, a better vision, a better this, a better that. Who will count the rice? Who will count each grain of rice? The black supremacists counts the grains of brown rice. Daily, the simplest of acts. We are selfless and lost in the beingness of the embodiment of black supremacy, lost in that reality. Who needs so many ideas and plans and schemes and blueprints when you are the very embodiment in your ways and actions? You represent the principles and the values. We stand in and as the values. And as long as there are those who exist and stand in and represent those values, then in our standing as those values, we are the propagation of the values that we stand for. We are the real DVD. We are the real lecture. We're the walking lecture, the walking DVD, the walking magazine, the walking website. And yes, we use these other external methodologies in order to disseminate information and get our message out to the masses of the people. But behind all that, the true back page are the most simplest of individuals that are devoted in the most necessary way, that are determined and zealous, selflessly committed to manifest the reality of black supremacy in this life, to guarantee that it will be in every other life, in every aspect of life. It is the few, the simple. And we call many to come and add to that simplicity. Some are looking for the plan to save the entire world. And while they're looking on a plan to save the world has spent around them. The world has revolved around them 99 times. And they're looking for the great plan to cause revolution, and the world has already revolved around them 99 times. However old you are, that's how many revolutions have already happened. The problem is not what revolution are you going to cause. What role have you played in the revolution that is already happening? And if you're 30 years old, that's 30 revolutions. If you're 20 years, that's 20 revolutions. And what do those 20 revolutions or cycles represent in your steadfastness, your consistency? A bunch of debates and ideas, from job to job, employment to employment, school to school, idea to idea, vision to vision, skill to skill, labor to labor, practice to practice. Is that what your 30 years show? While you've had good ideas and you've had Afrocentric visions and you've read some pretty good books, but what have you donated the majority of your time and energy labor to within the 20 revolutions, the 30 revolutions, the 40 revolutions, or the 50 revolutions that you call your life existence. I'm not going to condemn you or get you too caught up in the past. But I want to inspire you and motivate you for your next 20 and 30 revolutions. That they be as revolutionary as you would desire to see manifest. That you be as much of the type of revolution that you want to see manifest in the world with all your time, labor, and energy. With every moment, every second of your day, every meditation is important. We don't have to wait till another black person gets shot down in the streets, more police brutality, hatred, racism in the media. We don't have to wait for that. We can make sure every revolution counts, and we determine what type of revolution that the revolutions that are already passing us are going to be, because the revolution is happening without you, and you're riding on a revolution that either you are affecting and determining or not, and that's called life.